Following a road to a showing, and then we're going to be searching below the showing for about 700-800 meters in either direction to see what we can find. Here you have chalcopyrite in this road grab sample, and you got some sphalerite here. So similar samples like this would show high for zinc and gold and maybe a couple % copper. Another road grab sample here. Not bad. Got some chalco in there. Hammer it a bit more and take a look at that. Look at the chalcopyrite. That's a very nice looking sample there. Okay, so here's a big hunk of what we call the all metal showing, which was located by our good friend and prospecting partner Kelly. You can see just all metal in your schistose rock. We have another exposure of it actually over here. What we're going to do today is head downwards this way and see if we can't locate any more. So we have more here. We're about 5 meters below that other piece in the road. You can see just all throughout here. Look at the sparkle. So this has a bit of chalcopyrite in it. Nice looking chalco with pyrite there. Okay, so we're about 75 meters below the last spot we showed. You see this big uprooted tree? We found a fresh rock that's obviously been uprooted from the tree. Some metal on it. It looks like pyrite, and it looks like it's got sphalerite in there, but it has a really, really pungent smell when you hammer it, and even when you don't hammer it. So definitely looks like sphalerite in there, but can't confirm that right now. But there's pyrite, maybe some arsenopyrite. It's a nice looking sample. Metal all throughout this big rock here. A couple hundred meters away from the last spot, we found a shaft. We got our mine shaft measuring device here. It's not long enough. You can see wood bracing on the sides there. So I'd say based on the dump pile, this goes down about another 3-4 meters below this. Maybe a bit more. So 6-7 meter shaft. No apparent mineralization in any of the rocks here that we've seen. We're gonna search the dump a bit better, which is right over here. So what we thought was the dump is not actually the dump. This is actually a big mound of granitic rock, which is odd because here you have some kind of altered volcanic tuff, and that's supposedly what the shaft looks like it's sunk on. I can't really get down there, but maybe there's a contact right in here. and that might be what they're chasing. So we're going to follow down a bit more. There's some rock outcrop over there, and down here. I'm going to go check those. Area here where there's rocks strewn everywhere. A little bit of malachite staining on some of them. And you have a little bit of iron pyrite. So, looks like at one point in time, you got a little prospector's pit here. Maybe they blasted out a bit of outcrop here on a small little vein, or saw some mineralization, but obviously they didn't find too much, otherwise it would be deeper. We're going to poke around, just take a quick look at this dump material here. Maybe it won't give us a clue to what they were looking for. A couple outcrops up here with nothing on them. Another prospector's pit right here. A little bit of a dump pile, a little bit of pyrite seen there, but nothing crazy. Below this big outcrop here, we're finding a few samples that are stained with a bit of malachite. Looks like there's a bit of magnetite in there and a little bit of chalcopyrite. Very, very minor amounts. But we're finding a few of these, so we're going to search this area a bit more detailed. Alright, so we may have found the source of our malachite staining. We're down below this outcrop. There's all this slough rock that's fallen off this steep outcrop. We're on about a 50-degree slope, and we're hammering some of this slough rock, and it is very nice. You got quartz in there, pyrite, chalcopyrite. So just look at the mineralization in there. Rock's a bit chloritized, very deteriorated. That is a nice sample. And we are finding multiple. Another big hunk we pulled out here. So even the host rock is mineralized. Look at this one here. Look at the mineral in there. Definitely found part of the showing. So your host rock is mineralized right here. But you have a partially mineralized quartz vein right here. And no doubt, because we're finding samples all up over here and here, that this entire area has some kind of vein going underneath it. Really awesome looking stuff. There's an area up there about 75 meters wide where you can find all those float samples. We did find the small little showing, but I'm gonna presume that there's a lot more underneath the slough pile based on the fact that it's so widespread. Coming down, we're about 75 meters below that last showing, and we just came across an adit. So, nothing crazy. There's pieces of quartz on the ground, so looks like they're following quartz, and maybe goes back about 4 meters. Looks like most of the mineralization would be confined to this front section, front half of this small adit. Back there it looks like it stopped and they probably just went a few extra feet to confirm. But this is looking like the same kind of rock as we saw up above, 75 meters. So maybe they were chasing the same kind of mineralization as we're seeing up there. We're going to hammer a few samples off the mouth here. Maybe look at the dump for a little bit. So here's some dump samples we've hammered open. Consistent with some of the mineral and rock type of that showing that we found about 7,500 meters above us. Some of this is pretty heavily mineralized. Okay, so here's one last dump sample. Pretty mineralized in the quartz there. Very nice looking. Alright, so down over there is where that adit is. Came over here and saw some oxidized rock here. Hammered away at it. It's got a little bit of pyrite. Chased it up a bit farther. Found this little outcrop exposed, which looks like it heads all the way up there and is in line with our very top upper showing. But look at the mineralization in that. So I think this entire area has probably got a zone of mineralization running through it. They probably mined a bunch of the bigger stuff and left the small stuff. Or they just missed this completely because it wasn't exposed. We're going to search the area. There's a big mineralized boulder, float boulder down there. That's about 1,000 pounds. That's massively mineralized. We'll check that out. More disseminated pyrite in your host rock here. And you have small quartz veins going all throughout this outcrop here. All the way down to over there. We found some good samples. Couple giant boulders here. You can see easily a couple 1,000 pounds. These slough down from there and look at the mineralization. Massive iron sulfides in quartz. Looks like a little bit of copper staining on that one. Very nice looking. Basically, you got about 90% of your rock containing mineral. We're about 100 meters below the lower road and about 100 meters below that couple big quartz boulders with massive iron sulfides. Right here, saw an oxidized patch. And you have pretty decently mineralized rock here. This is iron pyrite. And this is the host rock for the area. So anyways, we're just about down at the road, so that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got to walk all the way back up now all the way along the road up to the top where the vehicle is. So it'll be a few kilometer hike uphill. So we'll see you guys next time, and take care. Almost all the way down now. Just found this metal detector that was laying down here. Looks like it's pretty beaten up. Didn't expect it to be working, but this thing looks like it's from the 1950s. Oh, I'm picking up signals. Maybe that's because there's mineralization everywhere.